Hello everybody that's here. If you haven't hit refresh yet, please do. Deep Dive is back with my dear friend Christopher McIntosh from the melodic powerhouse Caskets. We are here to listen to the album in full. We're going to ask Chris any questions that you might have. Chris is going to tell us a few things about the lyrics, which I think he's revised overnight for. Have you done homework, Chris?
Yeah, about 5 minutes before we were meant to start.
I mean, perfect. So yeah, so for anybody that's, well, I know everyone here already loves the band. For anybody new, what were you setting out for when... Chris Caskets. There you go. There is a gifted sub from Eris. Thank you so much. For people that maybe haven't heard the album yet, we're going hypothetically. I know everybody has heard and adores this album. What were you setting out to do with your debut album?
Oh, God. Well, we wanted it to be good. That was the first thing on the list. We were like, it needs to be good. I'd say, realistically, when we did the EP, we were still finding what worked for us. We had a couple of... I don't want to say lineup changes because obviously we weren't like set yet, but like we were writing and we did a lot of the music writing without knowing who the singer was going to be. We were like, we need to find a great singer, but we were like, let's start writing the music. Yeah. So I think in some respects, like Matt had to fight with the music a little bit because we'd already wrote so much and so much of it was like finalized. So when we did the album, it was all about that gelling of being like, right, now we've got Matt and we know what he can and he can't do and what he's good at and, you know, what he likes. And to like learn from some mistakes that we made. We did, I want to say we had James, he joined the band like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks before we were recording the EP. So the drums are really rushed and like we really wanted to take us time with this and make sure it was like something we could be proud of.
Yes, and you can definitely tell. Hello, Benji Caskets. Vix Cadence, thank you so much for all the hosts. Appreciate it, guys.
I wish I could drop our remotes in this chat, but I'm not a premium user.
I mean, technically, if you send me some and I've got your blessing, we could maybe have a Caskets emote in the future.
Excellent. I'll get on that, mate.
Lovely. So, first up, the only ones. I mean... You just need to look at the stream numbers on that bad boy. Huge.
Whoa!
Yeah, absolutely huge track. Was this always the album opener, or did it take a bit of shuffling?
We were very particular about the order of the album. I feel like it's super important, especially for, like you say, people, first time listeners. You want to hook them in with something good. I think this one. We decided what the singles were, basically. And I know most, back in the day, it would be your third track would be like your big single.
Yeah.
But we were kind of like, we need something that we would be proud enough to release as a single as the first one. So that, there's a lot of music that gets released every Friday. So if an album comes out, you've only got a limited amount of time if someone goes, it's not catching me. Like, I'll move on to the next thing. So it was definitely going to be one of the singles.
Yes.
And this one felt like it had a nice lead in and had a bit of everything that you could come to expect from the album. So yeah, it kind of shows itself.
It is the perfect album opener from this collection of songs. Definitely, it is perfect where it is. So I know that Matt mostly writes the lyrics, and I know Matt has gifted you something to maybe go through that. What obviously for anyone that has seen the videos, last time Chris was here, we watched all the singles and the videos, so they're very good and tell their own story. But lyrically, what does this track kind of touch on?
So this one's about losing someone that you love, but then it's got the twist of coming to terms with that it was probably your fault that you lost them in the first place. So it's kind of like a bit of a spin on the normal, like, you left me and now I'm heartbroken and it's all you. It's like this is the realization of being self-aware of going, right, well, this makes me feel this way, but maybe I was to blame, at least partly.
Okay, lovely. let's get into it then. So for anybody just joining now, hello. Deep Dives are back. We're with the King, Chris McIntosh from Caskets, and we are going through the whole of Lost Souls, track by track, and going deep into each track. So yeah, enjoy. If you've got any questions for Chris during the whole time, drop them in and we'll ask them at the end of a song. Chris, if you want to pause because you remember an amazing moment, you just tell me. This is the only ones. Enjoy. Keep the chat going and let me know what you think.
I've lost all I love, but dreaming can't help me to turn my mind off. I'm completely empty, I can't take much more, but I'll struggle through this till I rise or fall. I'm bleeding out the pain, but it holds on. Feeling the love I had, but now it's gone. Now you're no longer here, I'm on my own. It's hard to imagine I'll ever move on. You were the only one, you were the only one who understood the pain. We were the only ones, we were the only ones. Now there's only me. Maybe it's true, I've lost all I love. It's my mixed emotions that you got sick of. I can't shake the feeling, I could have done more. The past is the past, that's not worth living for. I'm bleeding out the pain, but it holds on. Feeling the love I had, but now it's gone. If you're not here, I'd rather be alone. Remembering memories like when you said to me, you were the only one, you were the only one who understood the pain. We were the only ones, we were the only ones. Now there's only me. And now there's only me. I know I still speak to you in my sleep. I'm aware that you're gone, but still it cuts deep. I'll see you again with my own two eyes, as I cross my heart and hope not to die. Can you hear my voice as you fall asleep? Did you feel my pain when you had to leave? You'll see me again with your own two eyes, when I cross my heart and hope to die. And hope to die. And hope to die.
Mikey Page. Okay.
When I cross my heart and you were the only one, you were the only one who understood the pain. We were the only ones, we were the only ones. Now there's only me. We are the only ones.
about as good as opening tracks get. Chris, you can just sit there and blush, but you know it's true anyway.
Can I talk now? Am I allowed?
Yeah, that's just a lovely outro of Matthew. Can I just say, firstly, thank you so much for everyone's here. The show already is amazing. Secondly, I love the amount of people that was telling their stories about how much the album touches them and how much they love it. Equally part to the amount of memes going on in the chat. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, that is, like I said, absolutely huge track. I think it's obviously a big statement for Matt as well, isn't it? It's huge vocal for Matt to open up. Now, here's the best part that you're all going to enjoy about the Caskets Deep Dive tonight. At the end of every track, Christopher McIntosh is going to give us a fact. Now, I don't know what these facts are. Christopher McIntosh, give us a fact about the Only Ones.
Factoid.
Yes, please.
I've called them fun facts, but they're not all fun, so we'll just call them factoids. Only Ones. So this had a solo in it at one point.
Ooh.
On the demo.
And that track was already at 5 minutes. Were you going to try and try and take Iron Maiden on with like a 16-minute solo?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's another thing actually. So you said you really liked the outro, the long outro.
Yes.
That was a really hard decision for us because it makes the track work perfectly for the start of the album. I think it kind of gives you a little bit of... We didn't want to go like straight into the next song. Yeah. So we kind of wanted people to have a moment to ponder of being like, ooh, do I want to listen to this album? Like, because that's the kind of like, the first song, would you like to listen to this album? And we had that extended outro. And then it was just a really difficult decision because we want it as a single. But then obviously, like you said, the track length is, it's not standard. It's not like 3 minutes or 3 minutes on the nose.
I absolutely love that, though. I absolutely love it. I think it just shows how you were going for the fences. 5 minute, emotional, atmospheric banger to open your debut album. Yes, please.
There you go. But yeah, I think we did like an executive decision, like we voted on the solo because the solo was good.
Yeah.
But not something that you would. Not something that you would associate with our band. You know what I mean? A ripping solo.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it kind of the fact that it made its way to be the first track on the album, like it definitely was the right decision to lose it.
Was it a Craig Robinson ripping solo?
No, I don't think so. I think it was a sultry Benjamin one.
Oh, okay, lovely. Also, to all the people that have come from Lost Souls, legend. Secondly, if you like alternative music, sorry just to do a plug, please hit follow because we do this fun stuff all the time and it's amazing. Thank you very much for being here. So, I mean, I don't need to say much about the next track, do we?
Again, we were, like I said, it's usually the third track in it where you go, big single. But we thought, no, you can have them back to back.
Craig says that's why the solo didn't make it because it wasn't his.
I can't, what was said in that room when we voted, it can't be divulged online.
Fair, okay. Amazing.
We were going to have the solo on, but Craig didn't bring his, white axe. Do you know what I mean? The one that should be, covered in blood, he's in a Atreyu. So, no white axe, no solo that day.
Yeah, nice. Get a headband on, Craig, and get
bandana.
Yeah, bandana, sorry, and get soloing. Amazing. So, yeah, like we said, we're going on to Glass Heart, which I don't think, all 30 people that are here, I'm pretty sure has a good idea what this track is.
They've heard it.
Would you say this is like your... Would you say it's your magnum opus? It's the big boss. I mean, I can say I can say it from a personal view. You always manage to kind of oh shit, Mikey's here. Mikey, you not rock a bandana better than anyone, mate. You always seem to do that. I always saw that with Signs, and then you always kind of, and I'm falling apart. And in Glass Heart, you always kind of one up it. But this is the big one for you, isn't it?
This is the big boy. I'll take it from you. Do you know what I mean? You're the boss.
No, but how huge for you for the band has this track been for you?
Oh, massive, yeah. It's opened a lot of doors for us, especially with getting on Sirius Octane Radio in America, and
That's
I feel like obviously now the cat's out of the bag that we're going to America, I can finally talk about it. So I think maybe without this song, maybe we wouldn't be going on a US tour.
Wow.
I think it's like pushed us out into America in a way that, you know, that we hadn't had before. I feel like Signs and Falling Apart being on, like, say, Dreambound, I think they pushed us to the Europeans.
Yes.
And then I think Glass Heart, with the aid of American radio, has done the job for us in America. So holds a special place in my heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Sirius is like Sirius. Is it FM? That is absolutely massive, isn't it? If you get on that,
we're the biggest like rock radio in America. So like we were blown away to even if they'd just put us on super late at night. Do you know what I mean? Oh, there's a track here, listen to it. But like, you know, I think 1 week we were the top played track, and they play everything. Do you know what I mean? They're playing
that is crazy.
The latest albums from all our peers, and you know, it was crazy for us.
Also, Ryan from Sunspear, amazing American metalcore band. If anybody wants some new metalcore, he also cannot wait to catch you in the US. So there you go, Chris.
Oh, Ryan, where are you going to be? Where am I going to see you? Drop it in the comments.
Oh, I love this. This is so hype. Right, let's do it. There's not much more we can say. This is...
You get to blast off Glass Heart. You press the button.
Can I just say, here's Grammy-nominated Glass Heart.
Oh, okay, nice.
Sorry, I held off as long as I could. Glass Heart, everybody. Sacramento.
The blissful truth, your intentions were all pretend, and this sinking feelings I'm feeling exhausted. I just wanna be free to call myself from death's front door and not let him capture me. I just can't help but say that we should know better. We should know better, and I just can't help but feel like we should know better. Maybe if I take back what you meant to me, just like you took myself away. It's like a war I fight inside myself. I always lose and I can't help fall for the beating in my glass heart. The beating in my glass heart. I finally agree. I'm a mess. I confess to the lies and my mistakes. They convulse till they scream and they cry. 'Cause I feel so exhausted. I just wanna be free to drag myself from this front door and not let it capture me. Maybe I should take back what you meant to me, just like you took myself away. It's like a war I fight inside myself. I always lose and I can't help fall for the beating in my glass heart. The beating in my glass heart. We should know better. We should know better. We should know better. We should know better. And if you think that saying sorry can make it all okay, then you're the one mistaken. I'll put you in your place. I just can't help but say that we should know better. We should know better, and I just
is. The almighty Glass Heart. Oh, what a tune. What a tune.
Still doing bits for us, isn't it, mate?
I think it will do for the foreseeable foreseeable. I know what I was trying to say.
Until it's dethroned.
Yes. Is that an exciting prospect for you that you've kind of got to... you know what to do, don't you? Glass Heart 2.
Glass Heart 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting? I feel like Glass Heart is Signs 2.
Oh, is that your next fact? Is that your next?
No, it's not. It's not. It was definitely. We don't want to repeat the same stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like his next album, we don't want it to be Lost Souls 2. But everybody likes Signs and Falling Apart so much. I feel like we definitely took some cues of like what worked and what people liked. So
definitely,
there's definitely an element of we knew what we were doing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, when you say am I excited about the prospect, I think excited and fearful in equal measure.
Fair. Yeah, it's a worldie, isn't it? Oh yeah, we haven't had the fun fact yet. Hit us with the fun fact for Glass Heart.
You're not asking me what the meaning is.
Have I not done that? Is this about
you went through that before the track, but I didn't. You got so excited.
It's just that's how good this.
You were just dying to say that it was Grammy nominated.
Yeah, Grammy nominated. So tell me the meaning.
This one's about your own sanity and how sometimes when you're losing your sanity a bit, you could find yourself lying to yourself and being like, everything's fine, or that wasn't my fault, and like how that can affect you when you realise that, how that can affect your self-worth of being like, I can't even tell myself the truth. Do you know what I mean? Of how I'm feeling, and how that can like lead you into toxic friendships, relationships, things like like you wanting people to tell you what the narrative, what you want to hear, like don't that so and so said that and that wasn't right, were it, and tell me like fuel the lie.
Yeah, amazing. Not me creating a Twitch account just now to say hi to Chris. Tara, thank you so much for creating.
Who's done that?
Tara.
Oh, I know Tara from Instagram.
Thank you so much to anybody that's created a Twitch or has dropped in. It's amazing.
Make sure you turn off notifications on your phone. Jonny made me get a Twitch, and I've never got any battery on my phone now.
That is not my fault. Take that up with Twitch HQ. Sorry, but also hit follow. Thank you. Amazing. So we've gone over the nice little details of the track and the lyrics.
You want the factoid, don't you? I can see you.
The fun facts are just too much for me.
So, Glass Heart had a very, very heavy breakdown in it that was cut. It's all about cutting. I'm telling you everything that you didn't get. So Glass Heart had a really, really heavy, like naughty breakdown. It was like after the bridge, where like all the strings build up.
Yes.
But it didn't serve the song very well. Like it took you out of that, the rhythmic, like, it's Glass Heart. Do you know what I mean? When's the next singing bit? Like, the breakdown was great, but maybe it'll make an appearance in a new song.
Well, that's just.
But yeah, like you don't want to interrupt the sing-along times, do you, of Glass Heart?
No, I do think that's a good idea, but I would be very interested to hear it.
I think if it doesn't make it on a new song, I'll let you hear the demo breakdown.
Lovely. Up next is track 3, Hold Me Now. What can you tell us about maybe any studio stories, any writing stories, or obviously lyrical content?
So it's named after Craig, who's the oldest member in the band, because it's originally called Old Me Now, because he's the old one. So on the board where we like wrote, you see it, don't you, in the studio diaries where it's like with the big X's. We crossed out the H, so it was Old Me Now.
Amazing.
We forgot to like unmute an effect that we had on the bridge. So like we'd made this effect for the bridge of the song, and then we just totally forgot to we muted it to do something, to work on some other bit, and then we totally forgot to turn it back on. So if you see us play live, the bridge sounds different.
Oh,
Not massively different, but we like crank that one bit because it's like sorry, I'm just laughing at Craig's comments.
yeah, Craig's taken offence.
I really need my allowance this month as well, and he's saying that I can't have it.
Oh dear.
I'll drop him a line. But yeah, so like that's that, you know, it sounds a little bit different in the bridge, which is cool. I kind of like when you go see a band and they've got backing tracks and you can hear bits that are like buried in the production. I like them really loud. Do you know what I mean? Obnoxious.
Yes, I like that. I think if you add, you know, different additions to the live set, it's only going to benefit.
Yeah, and especially if it's like a naughty synth or a piano or like an effect or something like that, like gives you that, you know, you seem massive, don't you? You're like, who's playing that?
What was the obviously the recording process like? Recording the album, was it with Dan Weller?
It was the legend that is Dan Weller,
the legendary Dan Weller, also known for his work with a band called Brew Tomorrow and many.
Yeah,
others.
you like them, don't you?
They're all right. They're okay.
They made me queue up to meet them. I only wanted a 5-minute little chat, and you know how long were they, Johnny? Come on, oust them.
I don't know. Was it 40 minutes? 50? Longer?
It was 2 hours, Johnny.
Come
on, it wasn't 40 minutes.
It was 2 hours. I mean, that's how good our conversations are, Christopher. I didn't know it was 2 hours, but unfortunately, when you're metalcore celebrities,
yeah, well, worth the wait. But you know what I mean.
Lovely cuddle. Yeah, so let's go into track 3, Old Me Now. Again, if you have any questions for Chris, get him in.
You want the meaning? You're missing it out. We discussed this, Johnny.
Chris, it's not formulaic, mate. We can do it before or after. Let's do
not
the meaning.
Chill. I haven't spent all day sorting this for it to be chill.
Go on then.
This band is about stress.
Okay,
that's where you get the best out of us. So, the meaning, it's like, you know, when you're like running around in your head like in circles over and over, and like you were feeling great and then you lost it and you just want to get back there.
Yes.
And like I personally, like me and Matt did a lot of the like lyrics for this one, and I think when Matt was writing his bits, I think he was speaking to someone, but when I was helping him, I was imagining he was speaking to himself. So when you listen to it, think about that. Like, if you normally think, oh, this is talking to someone, then listen to it this time and think they're talking to themselves, and vice versa.
I love that. That is a very cool insight, actually. I do absolutely love
You're
that.
glad I did it before the song now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, we arranged.
We will make it formulaic now. We will talk about
I might just pretend I don't have a factoid for this one, so that, you know, it's cool and we're just chill.
No, it's fine. Before the track, we'll talk about everything, you know, what it's about.
Afterwards. You've already had the factoid, actually, about the effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you again. You can just repeat it. But
I'll make one up.
Here's Old Me Now.
Shout outs to Craig.
I've seen all the faces of your masquerade. You fabricate feelings that tend to fade. Numbing over time, you make me feel so hollow. But I tell you, my dear, that that's no route to follow. I keep knocking on the same old door. Tonight, sir, I've been here before. I'm holding out, but I still want more. Keep me at an arm's length.
Dan Weller said this should be the first thing.
You say you'll keep in contact, but we don't speak. I know you're moving on, but you're the only one that I have left. I'm not the person that I used to be. I killed the anger inside of me. Hearts breaking, I'm aching for me to find my home again. I'm shaking. Please God, don't let this be the end. faces of your masquerade. You fabricate feelings that tend to fade. Numbing over time, you make me feel so hollow. But I tell you, my dear, that that's no route to follow. Hearts breaking, I'm aching for me to find my home again. I'm shaking, thoughts racing. Please God, don't let this be the end. I keep knocking on the same old door to no answer. I've been here before. I'm holding out, but I still want more. Hearts breaking, I'm aching. Hearts breaking, I'm aching for me to find my home again.
Shout out to the harmonies between Matt and R2D2 there. That is again. That is a classic old chunky riff that I used to remember from. Obviously, we're not talking about the old band, but they're the riffs, the nice riffs that I remember. That chunky bow. With R2D2, amazing, phenomenal. So you said the fun fact.
I can come up with more.
Let's do it. Let's have another fun fact.
Well, I imagine James, our drummer's probably sat on his bed with a bowl of pasta,
Nice.
creamy pasta. You know that pasta en sauce?
Oh yeah.
He's probably got one of that. He's probably added extra cheese in it. And he would... I'm going to get a text any minute if I don't say that he wrote the intro lyrics.
James.
I know where no one asked him. Just dropped him in the group chat. And we were like, you alright, mate? And he was like, no, these are lyrics. So yeah, I don't know where they came from, but we had them. I feel like we used them. I feel like we were like, oh, we'll try them to be like to encourage, get involved with the lyrics. And then we couldn't get rid of him after that. It was like, they're my lyrics then on that song.
He did a lovely job.
He did a lyric.
When you all got that WhatsApp, you're like, I think someone needs to go and see if James is okay.
We just outright asked him and was like, was this for us? Are you alright?
Yeah, just written a masterpiece. Amazing.
I've just finished me pasta and sauce and it just Yeah, that R2D2 thing, I feel like maybe I've spoken to it before with you, but that's directly from the demo. So like Benji made that noise, don't know how.
Shout out Benji.
And then we tried to recreate it, and it just was never. It got close, but it was just never had I don't know. I think it's really ballsy. Like it's just I don't know. It's just like.
It's really cool. It's really.
So we just used the one from the demo. We were trying ages, and then Dan was just like, "Well, if you like the one from the demo, we'll have that."
Nice.
But yeah, like I feel like it wasn't on the song until we were like, we'll do all those little bits at the end. Do you know what I mean? No point wasting loads of time now trying to make that. And it just didn't feel right, that breakdown. It's extra naughty with I think Benji called it the clacker, the clicker clacker or something. So we just kept on saying to Dan, put the clacker clacker on, and he's like, what are you guys on about?
I feel the pasta fueled a lot of greatness. I think he did, Tara. I think it
fueled a lot of stuff in, yeah.
Yes.
It's fueled some stuff.
Yes.
Someone's asked me a question.
Okay.
We've got Fallen PRS. I want to say, is that Brandon?
Is it?
We're going with it's Brandon, I think.
Okay.
If there was another video you could have done, which would it be? Which song would it be for?
That's a good one.
Who's saying that we're not going to do more videos? Do you know what I mean? That's audacious of you to even suggest. I'd love to do a video for Hopes and Dreams, because I feel like there's a lot that I could do with that from a video standpoint that maybe wouldn't be as interesting for a full band video. Do you know what I mean? Something a bit more I feel like I could go really storyline heavy with that. But I feel like either The Final Say would be great or Hold Me Now. That seems to... We should have listened to Dan Weller, do you know what I mean? He knows best. He said that's a single, that. And we were like,
And you
I
could
don't know.
also have got a little cameo from R2D2 at the end.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just at Benji's like writing desk, just turns.
Amazing. Amazing. Track 4, Lost in Echoes, another big boy. Another big boy.
Risky boy, I'd say.
Risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we thought we took a big risk on this one,
Well, I think that risk paid off, didn't it?
especially after the name change fiasco.
Yes.
This was a very scary single to drop after changing your name.
Yeah, I bet it was actually.
In case they thought, all right, they've just gone a completely different direction with the music as well. So very scary of that being the single after that happened. But very very pleased with how it was received.
Yeah, for me. It's definitely one of the, just like the kids say, it's one of the coolest tracks on the album. This is a cool track. I think it's really good.
It's about feeling uncomfortable in your own skin. And like a bit of we wanted it to be a lesson of like if you ignore your feelings and try and push them down,
Yeah.
it usually makes it worse. Always better to try and confide in someone. And do you know what I mean? Everybody feels uncomfortable, growing up in their own skin, like especially in the alternative community.
Absolutely.
So we want it to kind of be, it's all right to be different, and this is a different kind of sound for us from what we've done before. So we're kind of like putting all that together of like, you don't have to follow the norm, and we let some of that synthwave 80s influence do that with the music as well.
As much synthwave as possible. Amazing. Amazing.
Pink goes nice with yellow, doesn't it?
I mean, it's true. Was this I think I'm right. Was this the video with the panels with Matt on?
Yeah.
Oh, that video. I think it's one of your best. Really cool video.
Oh,
I like
we'll
it.
jump into that afterwards.
Yes, we will. Here we go. Yes, we've touched on the lyrics. We have. We can take it off. Here we go. This is Lost in Echoes. Get vibey.
I think I lost my mind. Everything I knew came falling down. Anything I built comes crashing down. I'm pleading God, not now. Save me from my sins before I leave. Free me from the weight so I can breathe.
tune.
It is a big tune. Oh, I love it. I love that track. So we're getting on to. I do love the deep cuts on this album, especially because, as you can see, well, everyone sees they've not quite hit like people like go bar obviously the diehards. I do think a lot of these tracks have the ability to blow up. If one of these becomes a video, or I think Josie Mangin will be on the phone and serious. And
yeah.
Chris, would you be able to get on a plane and come and have an interview?
I'll do the lot, mate. You sort the plane and the peanuts, and we're good.
Oh, consider it done, mate. Track 5, Clarity. What nearly halfway house. What can you tell us about Clarity?
Well, don't you want to know my fun fact about Lost in Echoes?
It's all blurring into... Yeah, of course.
I spent all day on these, Johnny.
I'm
going to go... You're going to get it in... I'm going to ring you straight after this.
Listen here, you. We practiced this for 4 hours. Yes, please. I do apologise.
This is a really good fact, I reckon. I think people will be interested.
Okay.
This song wasn't meant to be a song.
Sorry,
It was meant to be an intro track for our live set.
Oh. Yeah, that is the best fun fact so far. That is, in fact, a fun fact.
That one's fun, that one, isn't it?
That's very fun.
So basically what happened was, Benji was showing me, I think, or me and James. He was like, I think I've wrote something that might be cool for, like, it's a bit weird, it's a bit, like, build a bit of anticipation, that whoop, 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 whoop. And he put it on the Dropbox. And Matt's a lead singer, so, he's not always up to date on the chat, what's going on, the job's at hand. He thinks that it's a demo that needs writing to.
And he starts writing some melody to it.
He doesn't tell us anything. And then he drops in, I've been working on that demo, and we were like, which one? And he was like, that, I can't remember what the demo name was. And he said it, and we were like, that's just a live set intro. And usually it would be sort of like, he would tell us, being like, I'm going to, I've got some ideas for this, and then start. But he'd already recorded them. So he sent them over. And then we were like, we could make this a thing. This could be a song.
That is amazing.
And now it's, and then it ended up being a single. So just proves, doesn't it, like that sometimes the music guides the way. We didn't set out to write this song.
That is absolutely
But
amazing.
Matt did. But unprompted, do you know what I mean?
Can we just say what a talented boy Matt is? The fact
I'm sure he said to Benji, he was like, I wondered why it didn't have, like...
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He was like, why is there no chorus to it?
I wondered why that was missing. That is amazing.
There you go.
Also, hello to everybody that's come in. Bella, Chemical Witness, Chris, hey.
Hey.
Instilled in Lee. It is good
Can
to
I get
see
a
you,
witness? A chemical witness?
Amazing. Hello to everyone. Chris Kit, hello. So many new people to the stream. Thank you very much for being here. Hit follow if you like alternative music.
Yeah, be nice to Jonny, guys. He works very hard.
Thank you, sir.
He works very hard, and not just 5 minutes before he's meant to be live. And he even pretended that there was a technical issue for me to finish my fun facts.
I'll pay you $3.99 by PayPal, and I'll even choose friends and family.
Nice. I will not, I won't do you wrong on that.
All right, amazing. So, track 5, Clarity. Halfway. Tell us about the lyrics and the meaning, and any other perhaps studio stories you have regarding track 5.
Oh, so this one's about fighting your own inner demons, and trying to seize the opportunities that you can see, but you're your own worst enemy. Do you know what I mean? You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you know what you need to do. Kind of like, you need to do your homework, or you need to do that thing, or you take the bins out, but it's raining, and you know you need to do it, but you're like, I can't, it's too much for me. But like, we wanted to put like a positive spin on it of being like, always keep going. Do you know what I mean? There's always a reason to fight. Always do, put one foot in front of the other. And to try and like see the good in life. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot to be said for trying to look on the bright side of things, which is, do you know what I mean? Like, probably not what you would think that the average Caskets song would be telling you. But we always try and have like a glimmer of hope in there. That's kind of like when we write. we touch on a lot of topics that are like upsetting and heartfelt, and we always try and inject some hope into it, because otherwise, it's not exactly the message that we want to send of like doom and gloom.
Yes, I get it. Was any pasta consumed when writing the lyrics to this track?
I don't know. Are the lyrics good in this one?
Yes.
Yeah, probably not then.
Oof. Ooh, track 5 clarity, everyone. Again, any questions for Chris? Get them in there.
Put them in the chat.
Ooh.
To where they say the world ends, 'cause I can't leave nothing at all to chance. Is it true what they say? When you go there you fade away, or through a black hole you'll crawl into a safe space. I'll pick up every broken piece of me, erase every tragic memory, looking through someone eyes I see. I can't break away from my mistakes. I don't see a way, 'cause my curiosity keeps leading me astray. I've been searching all of my life inside my head for something to give me purpose in this world again. If we let ourselves shine bright, see the world in a different light, keep us in your prayers tonight, and we won't even question leaving everything. I can't break away from my mistakes. I don't see a way, 'cause my curiosity keeps leading me astray. Can't break away from my mistakes, 'cause my curiosity keeps leading me astray. If I open up my eyes to see and look beyond the haze, to see what my life could have been, would I still make a change? If I'm destined to be dust one day, then there's no time to waste. In beauty framed by the mundane, I'll finally find my place. Finally find my place. I can't break away from my mistakes. I don't see a way, 'cause my curiosity keeps leading me astray.
Oh, that's a hell of an ending.
Yeah, that was on the demo, and we were like, that has to stay. That cannot get, that little extra bit at the end.
Yeah, that is an amazing outro. So
I like
some excellent questions actually. One from a classic Darif question: do you like pickles?
Yeah, I don't like them.
He doesn't like pickles. Sorry, Darif.
We've had this already, haven't we?
Was there a song where the reception was surprising? That's a good question.
I replied saying the final say.
Oh, have you been typing away? Oh, you're very good, aren't you? There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, I'm not. I'm not expecting a free meal here. Do you know what I mean? I'm working.
Bassist for Caskets and JMR Music Reviews secretary. You need anything doing? Just ask Chris McIntosh. Fun fact, sir, for clarity.
This was the first song that we demoed. So, like, we pretty much finished the EP, and immediately, like, there was obviously some songs that didn't make it on the EP. So we were kind of still, like, messing around with those. But then this was the first one where we started something new. But it was written very soon after the EP, probably before the EP came out. Actually, definitely before the EP came out. Maybe we wrote it as Gust Like You was out.
Wow, really?
So I feel like if you listen to that song, knowing that, you can feel a lot of the, like, to me that feels the closest to the EP.
Yeah,
because it's from a time where we hadn't received any feedback really from the music, so like it wasn't too far removed of, like, we weren't ready to be experimenting. Do you know what I mean? You've
got an excellent question from Tara. Does Matt record vocals in one go and then fix what needs fixing, or do you start out doing it bit by bit? And how big are those bits?
Is this a question in regards to tracking for the album or for writing for the demos? I'm
guessing probably tracking, or whatever you think applies best to that question.
Okay, well I can answer both. Do you know what I mean? Don't say anything, Tara. You're gonna get two answers here. So for the demos, we like to do something that we call floodish. So he's called Matt Flood, and we call it floodish, where we'll just get in a room and we'll put the track on, and I'll just hit record, and he just vibes, and and like, it's all melodies. Like the odd word or something might come out if he's got a inkling of what he wants the song to be like. But that's very loose, and we'll probably do the full song, and then we'll go over bits, and we'll be like, all those ones in the verse are crap. Do the verse again, and we kind of find his way for the melodies in that regard. So in a demoing sense, very long takes. He'll go high, he'll go low, he'll do all the stuff. When we were tracking, we found that it was easier to keep the feeling as if it had all been tracked in one. For if there was any things that were like high intensity, so it's like really high, high notes, or if there was anything that had like a bit of grit on it, sometimes it gets close to like a scream. For those ones, lots of jumping up and down in the booth, running on the spot, getting the heart pumping to try and imitate the energy that you would get from like a live or like a practice room sort of setting where we've probably wrote them. So it depends on the parts. We tried to track as much together as possible because it flows the best, and it's also a good indicator of if it's going to be doable live rather than punching in every bit. Obviously there is some leeway live where we'll drop a word or we'll change it slightly, or there'll be a backing vocal or on the or on the backing track or something. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
That was very in depth, amazing.
There you go. Now you know.
Now we know. Track 6, Hopes and Dreams. Tell us about it. What have you got for us?
So the meaning behind this one, this is somebody talking to somebody else and saying to them, I'm going to be here for you no matter what. Can you be here for me? Like, it's about having someone else's back, and that sort of bond that you would have of being like sharing your innermost hopes and dreams with someone that you trust, where you feel the most at home, and kind of knowing that if you put a foot wrong, make a mistake, start going down a bad path mentally or physically, that they'll guide you back, they'll pull you back to where the kind of, you sometimes hear people say that like home isn't a place, it's like a feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like where you could feel at home with somebody. So that's kind of like Matt pretty much like this is the least changed vocally song on the entire album. This was given to us acoustic, microphone. Matt played it. He said that he'd had the strumming pattern, the riff, the chords, all that stuff for a long time, but he never found the words to go with it. And it had moved from being a minor song to a major song and back and forth, because obviously Matt comes from a acoustic singer-songwriter kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That's where I found him, and that's where he feels most at home writing. But he was always used to singing in major. A lot of pop punk stuff and music that he was drawn to was in major. So when he joined Caskets, it was quite hard for him to flip a lot of ours is minor sounding. So I think this one's telling that it goes from minor to major. That's very it makes sense of how Matt was feeling when he wrote it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can tell just from the chat. There's a lot of love in the chat for Hopes and Dreams.
That's personally why we said if this one makes the cut, there's 2 acoustic style songs that we had to choose between. I can't have both. And we said, look, if this one makes it, it's your baby. We touch it as little as possible.
I think that was an excellent choice, just to let him do his thing. I think I need a drink before we listen to Hopes and Dreams. I hope you've got your drink. Everybody enjoy.
Tissues at the ready, guys.
Tissues at ready. It is a beautiful track. Enjoy. Or don't. But I hope you do enjoy. Keep the questions flowing for Chris.
Hope is a ladder that you keep sliding down. Each setback makes you trip and fall to the ground. Dreams are like paper, torn so easily. Those crumpled up pieces represent you and me. Can you see it? They're lying dead on the floor. That poor soul, it looks like it's been through the wars and more. It probably fell from a ladder, was probably worn to its knees. If there's one thing for sure, it died from my hopes and my dreams. But if I fall away from my dreams, would you honestly be there if I tore easily? Because I need you, please, to help me find my feet. Hope's just a ladder, and you can make it to the top. Just believe in your ability, let your head believe your heart. You and only you can finally make your dreams come true. And I believe it when he said that every one of us can tell. Let your head believe your heart. But if I fall away from my dreams, would you honestly be there if I tore easily? Because I need you, please, to help me find my feet. Hope's just a ladder, and we can make it to the top. Cause I believe in our ability. I think it's destined in our hearts. That in love we're tangled too, and the passion that it spews, it can make our most unimaginable dreams come true. Hope's just a ladder, and dreams can come true. Cause I belief's the secret to the recipe of truth. Hope's just a ladder, and we can make it to the top. I think it's destined in our hearts. But if we fall away from our dreams, we can honestly become all that we want to be. Because of you, I'll never fall back to my knees. But if we fall away from our dreams, Hope's just a ladder, and dreams can come true. Are you aware that dream of mine turned out to be you? Hope's just a ladder, and you can climb it too, but only if you want to. I'll climb it with you.
No, it won't.
Big respect there, mate. Big respect.
Yeah, you can't cut that ending.
Not finished yet, Johnny.
No, you can't stop that one.
That one. No.
It's important. It's important.
Oh, sorry, we're not listening to the full song.
Masterpiece from Chris Get. You know what? I'm not just saying because you hear that really is when music kind of breaks out of just being music. It's a very special track. Matthew did insane there. Absolutely insane. Very, very, very good. Can you give us any fun facts about that when it's such a sad song?
I can give.
Have you got any sad facts?
Let me give you a little bit more insight into it, and then I'll give you a fun one, which is fun. So, like I said, this was the least touched song vocally. Pretty much some tidying up. I think he repeated a few words where we were like, oh well, you could say that this time, and then it's like not saying, it's not the same rhyming word. So we moved a few, we did a little bit of housekeeping, but structurally, like all the rest is the same. But this was the hardest song to do musically. So obviously Matt had just given us it just chords, like, do you know what I mean? It's just acoustic guitar. And then it was really open to, like, we wanted to do a really big, what it's ended up becoming. I'd say probably took influence from, have you heard the I See Stars stuff, where they did that kind of reimagined album? Lots of strange instruments and things like that. We kind of originally wanted to go down a route like that, of like weird, not the norm of, like, I don't want to say that what we've gone with is the norm, but we originally were like, we need to be really clever about it, do you know what I mean? Do something different. So it went through loads of reiterations of, like, Craig had a go at it, Benji had a go at it, Matt tried changing some bits of it, Dan had a go, obviously Randy Slaw, who did the violins and all that sort of stuff throughout the album, and especially on this song. Him and Dan, collaborating on it loads. And this was one of the ones where we decided in the end, once we decided it was going to be one of the two acoustic songs, that we needed to work on it together, and we needed to get into the vibe. Because everyone was coming at it from, like, I've just finished work and I'll just try and smash out some stuff on Hopes and Dreams. And then it would get a bit more like, some versions had, like, the drums coming in sooner, and, like, it went full band faster, and then, the synths got a bit, like, lost in echoes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it had the most chance of getting cut of the two acoustics, because the vocals were perfect, but we just couldn't, until we had the one night in the shed, in my garden, where we recorded the stuff. And everybody had a glass of wine, and everybody's, we got into Hopes and Dreams headspace, and then it just came. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it did run the risk of ending up on the cutting room floor, this one, because we just couldn't. We almost had too many ideas for it, and then realistically, we just stripped it all back at the start. Figured out how to do the minor to major change without it sounding jarring. And then just built and built and built, and that song just crescendos, you know what I mean, to the end.
Yeah.
And then we felt it was very important to have that bit at the end that you didn't cut, hats off, where it just cuts out to his vocals.
Yeah.
Like, that was really important for us. We're like, it can go big and big and big and big and get as big as it wants, but it has to come back to, the raw vocal message.
Yeah, I certainly couldn't imagine this album without that track. I think it's...
Yeah, I think it belongs there right in the middle to,
Yes.
you know, let's reset. You've heard some riffs. You've heard Glass Art. Yeah, and like that one as well, like, you know, Benji and Craig are amazing guitar players. We had Dan, you know what I mean? Dan's nuts. Everybody had a go at playing it. And in the end, we said the right thing to do is Matt to play it. So Matt's playing the acoustic guitar, obviously singing. Like, it's as close to what we went everywhere away from the idea, loads of tangents, and we eventually brought it right back to being like, look, this is a song that Matt's wrote. It means a lot to him. Like, let's make it as much Matt as we can. And now for the fun fact.
Ooh.
We've got any Avril Lavigne fans in the chat? Drop a Skater Boy in the chat if you're here. Right. Jonny, play the first note from the song, and then in the chat I want people to tell me what Avril Lavigne song it sounds like.
Any Skater Boys in chat? Complicated from Eris.
I think it is that one.
I would play it, but you know this is going on YouTube, and I don't want to.
Is she giving you permission?
I don't think Avril's here tonight. Avril, are you there?
You'll never hear the start of that song the same again now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the lyric.
Yeah, complicated.
We
can also say it's an absolute banger.
Why have I made this complicated now by telling you?
So
that's a fun fact, isn't it? That's fun.
That is an excellent fact. That is probably my favourite. Up next, what I would say, another one of the four horsemen of this album, another big boy, in my opinion, Drowned in Emotion.
A lot of people tell me this is their favourite song, you know. Get that a lot for Drowned in Emotion.
I get it. What can you tell us?
This song is about pure anxiety, Jonny. Have you ever felt anxious?
Yes, my medication cupboard tells me very much so. Yes.
Well, that's probably why you like this song, Jonny. It speaks to the anxious person in all of us.
Definitely.
We lent into, obviously Matt's a singer in our band, and, being on stage is anxiety inducing.
Absolutely.
So we used a lot of the the things, underneath the lights and, terminology that would be, related to being in a band. But I think we kept it ambiguous enough. So Craig's got the best comments. Like, we kept it ambiguous enough that it could relate to anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, the feeling of the spotlight being on you and being like, right, everyone's waiting for me now. Like, I've got to do the thing. And they're like, again, always trying to plant that seed of hope. So, like, for us, it was like, swallow it down, do you know what I mean? And, like, use the drive. We want to be on stage, we want to be performing. And as much as it's anxiety-inducing and you're nerve-wracking, you need to fight the constant battle between head and heart. I think that's a lot to be said for a lot of our songs of, like, head says one thing and heart says another.
Definitely.
So I think that's why this one, I think this is why a lot of people like it. And also because, like Craig says, it's got the best drum beat in the world, which is Craig's favourite,
So just going on to the fact of what Craig said about the drum beat, I'm going to ask, did James have any pasta and sauce when the
pasta and sauce is purely lyrical, that's all that gets.
He only uses that for lyrical work.
Oh, Craig wants me to do the drum beat impression, but I'm not as good at it. So
off you go.
Any demo that we get Craig to work on has got this drum beat in. Every band he's ever been in, you can hear it. Craig sorted the drums on this. Craig likes to do and then I can't believe he's making me do this. And then it's the stick round the head, and he's always got the spin. But we'll get him to do it at a sound check or something. You've got to see it.
Amazing.
Puts James to shame.
There's a bit of a stick twizzle.
There is, yeah. But it's the round the head one that gets me every time.
That is impressive.
He can do it to any song as well, any tempo.
Craig, I think you need to record something, mate. I think that we need proof, and that needs to go in.
I think this should be the first GIF that we make for the Caskets server.
Yes.
Craig, because it looks like he's like brushing his hair or something, but you know the other hand's bringing it.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Drowned in the Ocean, track 7.
Give us the anxiety now.
Let's have it. Here we go. Enjoy. Not the anxiety, but the song.
Enjoy.
Amazing. Cuzzy, welcome to the stream, sir. Look, it's Jonny and that person. Do you remember that joke? Do you remember that joke, Chris, at the gig?
There's a person there.
There's a person there. Watch out. Amazing. What a tune. I also think that Eris has asked an absolute banging question. Obviously,
I know, I was about to start typing away and I thought, there's not time. There's not time.
I felt that... I know that this is obviously a huge part of the band that you have a lot to do with. So I think it's arguably one of the best. Personally, I think merch designs, all of your art, everything is, in my opinion, one of the best in the biz.
So that's nice, isn't it?
That's my opinion. Some people might say absolutely not, but I think
Well, we don't listen to them, do we?
We do not.
Kick them off the stream.
Yeah,
the ones that are saying that.
Apart from Avril, can I play your song?
I'm still waiting for Avril to pop up in the chat.
And wait, does anyone know Avril Lavigne's number? Just ask if we can play Complicated without getting the YouTube video stricken. Yeah, tell us about the obviously the tarot cards and all the theming of this album.
Yeah, so I can't take full credit. I know my girlfriend's going to tell me off because she's like, you should take credit for it. But yeah, so the first design was done by someone else. Obviously, like I'd come up with the theme, so the glass art one wasn't me. And then we ran into some complications. Won't go into it. But then, for me personally, it was more of a time-based thing of being like, well, by the time I tell my vision to someone else and they try and then send it back, and like I'm notoriously like hard to work for in the design realm because I'll mess with it myself. Do you know what I mean? Like someone will send me it and I'll be like, "Oh, just move that."
You want it how you want it.
Yeah, I think the hard thing when you're briefing a concept that you're passionate about is that I've already seen it in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know what it looks like. It's just making it become an actual thing that other people can look at. So yeah, we really liked the tarot card idea. We liked that they can seemingly mean one thing, but another. You know, like a lot of people, let's say if you went to a tarot card reading and they turned it over and it said like death, you might think, oh my god, I'm gonna die. But like, that can mean so many things. I'm not going to say that I'm an expert on tarot cards because I'm not. But I liked that, you know, it's not, you know, the death one, you know, it might be, you know, the death of something in a rebirth, you know, you're leaving something behind that wasn't good for you. So we liked that a lot, and we liked that continuity of being like, well, it's the same but different. They can these must all be singles from the same collective. And very early on, I had the idea of them all, well, as many of them as possible being in the album artwork. So it's kind of like, you know, you're getting glimpses of, you know, there's a glass art one there and the so-and-so, and like, and then when you see the album, they all live together. Do you know what I mean? There, and a lot of just like, there's a lot of cool things you can do with them. There's a lot of good inspiration to take from, like, you know. I was looking at loads of like videos of magicians and stuff like that, and like then stuff specifically to do with tarot card reading, and they've all got different feels. Do you know what I mean? Like how a magician would use cards is a very different like feeling to, you know, if you're going into a tent and there's a crystal ball and all that sort of stuff of a tarot card reading. So it opened up a lot of things, like and they're very tactile. Do you know what I mean? You can tear a card, you can burn a card, you can get it all wet and soggy and yellow, turmeric. So it was a good playground for me, you know, a sandbox of stuff to play with and like add elements. I always wanted to tie the reason there's fire in the Only Ones video is because I wanted to burn one of the tarot cards. So I listened to the singles and I was like, which one feels like fire? Do you know what I mean? Which one has that energy? Which one feels like, you know, obviously the Lost in Echoes one has got like a smashed like neon light and, you know, those colours and the smoke, and it was very deliberate. Do you know what I mean? The thought process behind the artwork, the song, and the music video, like that, to me, they're all parts of the same thing. They're not to be like separate.
Yeah, and just going through a couple of the questions, Sonny asked a really good one. Which out of all the tarot card is your favourite design?
Ooh, favourite one.
Ooh, what a question.
I really like the card for the Only Ones. I like the burning bouquet. I like the fact that it's so tied to the music video. Like that one for me, the execution of that music video and all the things that went with it was like, I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. You know, when I said I can see it in my head,
yeah, it
was like, oh, it's in there, and oh, now it's here. Like there was very little compromise on the vision, and that's a really memorable shoot day. Like we're sponsored by Tanglewood Guitars.
Yeah,
we met the guy because he lived next door to the field that we were doing it in, and
you were burning.
Yeah, we thought they were the police, and we're like, oh god, we've literally just started making noise now, and now we're gonna get booted out. And then, you know, he's like, oh, I'm a bit of a musician myself. I'm like, oh, right, okay, mate. Do you play in the pubs and clubs? Sort of, you know, he was like, oh, and his missus goes, oh, he owns a guitar company, and we're like,
oh,
yes,
oh, sorry,
carry on. So like, there's loads of good memories like that. Like, that's the two people that act in it, Jess and Pat. Like, they're my friends, but like that, the prep and the day and stuff for that, like, brought us all really close together. And like that summer, I'll always remember as like it kind of kicked off with the Only Ones video. So like, whenever I see that one, it makes me feel happy.
Yeah, that is a great memory. I think we missed it first time. Tara's question: when you guys rehearse for tour, what exactly do you practice? Just the music, or do you also plan choreography? As in, where do you walk, stand? Do you need to do things differently at every venue, or do you guys decide about lighting? Curious about this process. That's another good question. I'm
going to apologise in advance, guys, if I'm rambling. Jonny, you cut me off if I'm rambling, all right?
Mate, this is called a deep dive. We are diving deep.
I hope everyone's had the dinner and stuff, and like, you know what I mean? They've not got else going on. So yeah, so in regards to I'll try and be as quick on these. So when we rehearse, until very recently we had a space where my business like operates. There was a spare room that they let us have. That's now been taken over by a gospel group, so we don't have our like hub anymore where we're sending out orders and doing all the kind of that stuff. But when we did, we were practicing on an electric drum kit, so we were on an Alesis Strike Pro, which looks like a proper drum kit. We're all on in-ears, like we do live. So basically, if you walked past that room, you would hear the gentle tapping of James on the drums, and Matt singing, and you'd think, what is going on in there? So we practice individual songs, if there's anything where we're like, oh, let's start with that one because it's easy on Matt's voice, and then, but realistically we would practice the set from start to finish. So when we click spacebar, as you'll have seen many bands, someone will have to run on, click the spacebar, the show's going then. There's no, we're not triggering individual tracks. It's like, right, it runs from start to finish now, unless something goes wrong. And that's kind of like, we don't rehearse choreography, but we're rehearsing to a click track and to a set, in between Glass Art and, Hold Me Now, in our set, there's always, 35 seconds. It's always that. So you kind of do learn a bit of have I got enough time for a drink of water? Is this where I tune? Is this where, wipe the sweat out of my eyes? So there is an element of we are practicing as if we are playing a gig, We don't stand in a circle looking at each other unless we're learning something, that we're locking it in. We're playing as if we're on stage, set out how we are. And it helps as well because it's it's not foreign territory then. When you get on stage, right, yeah, I'm stood here next to Craig. When I do that moshing bit, Craig knows to move because you don't want to get smacked in the face again with a bass. So there is an element of, there's a familiarity in practicing in that way. We have a loose, I don't want to say script, but we have, again, with the amount of time, if he's got 20 seconds, he can't be telling you about the new album and, we've got merch and things like that. And we'll have prompts in our ears. So Matt, is, again, he's the lead singer. He's forgetful. He's in the moment. He's probably, struggling to breathe. So he'll have a little prompt in his ear where he'll say merch. And then that's his, he doesn't tell him what to say, but it's just for him to go, oh, Emily's at the back, get some merch, or, thank you for everyone who's picked up merch. It helps us out on tour. So it's not like a set structure. But it is guided, if that makes sense. And then in regards to venues, venues are always different. Sometimes you'll have to have the drum kit at the side. Sometimes you'll have to put it on, take it off. Sometimes you could, we're all using the same one. So it's more just how wild can you go? Do you know what I mean? Small stage, you kind of might have to be a lot more standing still, head banging, versus if it's a massive stage. When we played in London, we're doing the running around from side to side. But then when we're playing in Southampton, you're just trying not to fall off, join the stage in it yourself. Lighting, I do all the lighting from our rig. So we have some things called freedom sticks that are wireless, so they get plonked down. And then we've got some LED sort of strips that can oscillate. We've got some ball head lights. I think that's it. So yeah, I program those. They're all because obviously we play to click, and because the set's the same every time, the in-between bits are all programmed. And I definitely do think it adds an element of, if you go see a band and, when the breakdown hits, the strobe starts going, it does have an effect. And and we usually sort of just say to the lighting guy, because we don't have a lighting guy, we'll say, oh, you know, keep the lights low, keep them on so they can see us faces, and then kind of, you know, if the chorus seems everything goes yellow, if you want, make it all yellow, or, you know, but a lot of the lighting is like predetermined, and we'll probably be very shocked when we finally move up to the bigger venues, because 2 little lights and some sticks aren't going to do much. But then
it's going to have to be fireworks and.
Yeah, but as well, I don't think it's a crutch. I think it's just an extra. You know, like
exactly.
It's nice. It's nice to have. Yeah, it definitely helps in smaller venues, which obviously we're used to. And then as we get bigger, maybe we might get a lighting guy. Do you know what I mean? So it's that's exciting as well. So yeah, big answer.
Amazing. Did we have a fun fact about Drowned in Emotion?
Fun ones. I've just got facts, mate.
Let's go
Nothing fun about these ones.
Let's go for a fact.
I'll keep it short because I've talked quite a bit then. So this is one of the harder tracks to get nailed on the album. We had lots of parts. Maybe this riff, and like it just there was something about it that just wasn't gelling. Like all the individual bits were good, but then we were like almost ready to like just bin it and be like, keep that riff and maybe we'll find something else. Dan Weller, in his infinite wisdom, was like, let's just chop it up and move it around, and like we'd kind of gone a bit, we'd heard it so many times and we're like, it's not working, and that bit, and he was just like, chop it up and we just start at the start. What's the start? It's that, right? Does that work into that bit? No. What about this? And that's kind of like, we call it like the anti-chorus at the start, you know, where you don't get the full chorus.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that was born out of Dan being like, well, you know, it's your music, you can do whatever you want with it. Like, you don't need to give him the full chorus at the start, because then you kind of got nowhere to go to. So that's kind of like, that's opened our eyes. There's a lot of things that Dan's taught us that where it's kind of like, you know, it's what we know songwriting wise, but you know, different. You know, you don't have to go down the same route every time. And I'd probably argue now that it's become one of our favourite songs.
Amazing.
Which always seems to be the case. We seem to be like, you know, maybe it's because we're passionate about it, of like, we really, really want it to be right. And then, you know, when you've been trying a song to get it right for a long time, you know, you can leave it and come back to it. But there was something about, you know, the riffs, we wanted them. And then having that deadline, and then having Dan's like guiding hand of being like, well, you know, if you want it, like, you know, your riffs, like, make them work. So we really appreciate Dan for that, and obviously you guys got a good song out of it. So
yeah,
you know.
And a lot of people love the 2 breakdowns in that.
Yeah,
song.
well, it was good, wasn't it? Give him it again.
You want, I mean, double breakdown, amazing.
Do you want a hamburger or do you want a double hamburger?
Everyone wants the Big Mac.
Interesting fact. We really, really wanted to call it D.I.E. Die, because drowned in emotion, and we almost did it. We almost, you know, pulled the trigger on that, and then we were like, oh, Amity have got that in D.I.E. like, and I was
about to say, all right, Amity.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because people like you, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry.
Sullying the art of music.
I mean.
What's Jonny ever done for music? Come on, say in the chat if you've ever spotted him doing out. Dissing the song names.
Absolutely. I was actually about to say, if it was DIE, yours would be far superior in music style. But sorry, mate. Sorry.
Cut that other bit out when you put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I can't do that. Sorry. Lose Myself. Let's go. Next track. What have you got?
Spin it.
No, Christopher. We're not talking about the meaning or the lyrics.
Oh, I thought we were just going loosey-goosey. Freeballing it. I can tell you the meaning if you want.
Let's do it before we go.
It's about...
It'll hit even harder.
Yeah, it's about being gaslit. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, some people in the chat, you might have been there. Someone gaslighting you. Making you feel like you're in the wrong. Bending the truth to fit their, you know, to fit how they want it to be. And, you know, making you out to be a bad person. And then this talks about the struggle of, you know, you don't want to lose yourself. You don't want what somebody, you know, if everybody tells you, you're an idiot, At some point, you might start thinking, God, am I an idiot? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's saying it. Or I'm hearing it that much. So, you know, like when somebody says, oh, you tell a lie so many times that you start believing it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's where this song's coming from, of being like, knowing that it's not true, but like the fight of being like, you know, it's very hard, especially if that person's got a hold on you. To like break free of it.
Absolutely. Let's go for it. Lose myself. Enjoy. Keep the questions coming. Some amazing questions. More. Time to vibe.
It's coming back again, killing me, do you think that I kicked it? I feel it in myself, breaking it, anything for a minute. And I try to be somebody else before back to myself. Because I'm at it again, pulling me to the depths that I faded. It takes me right from the start, we're fading now. You say I'm the monster in your fairy tale, and I didn't save you when you called for help. I'm fighting for my life while you drag my reputation through the dirt until the very end. I don't wanna lose myself. I've already lost. I'm coming back again, killing it, do you think that I made it? I feel it in myself, breaking it, and I just can't stop it. And I try to be somebody who could recognize themselves, then it happens again. You say I'm the monster in your fairy tale, and I didn't save you when you called for help. I'm fighting for my life while you drag my reputation through the dirt until the very end. I don't wanna lose myself. I don't wanna lose myself. You light up now inside your world and make believe. But who's to say what I'll be? Maybe you'll see the best in me. I've already lost. You say I'm the monster in your fairy tale, and I didn't save you when you called for help. I'm fighting for my life while you drag my reputation through the dirt until the very end. I don't wanna lose myself. I don't wanna lose myself. I've already lost.
What a tune. It's just a banger.
You can't say that after every one. You've got to come up with a different.
That was quite good. Excellent sometimes, but good all the time. Yeah, I just can't.
Quite good.
Very enjoyable sometimes.
Enjoyment
Tara's
was
enjoying
probably
it
had.
so much she needed a wee and took the laptop. That's
I don't
commitment.
think this is fair because I've needed a wee for the past 15 minutes, and I'm. Do you know what I mean?
If you want to take your camera whilst you do that, that's a different website, mate.
Make sure mute it if I'm going to the toilet.
Yes. Yeah, definitely do that. You could call it a finger pleaser. Yes, you could, Sonny. Yes, you could. Mickey's, welcome to the stream, my friend. Thank you very much. 9.5 song in Cuzzy's world. That is about as good as you can get.
9.5.
Yeah, in Cuzzy's.
Nice.
Cuzzy's 10 is 9.5. That is the meme.
Quite nice.
Yes, quite nice. Dr. Chris Respect. That is the best thing I've ever seen. That's your new name. Can you make merch? Do you know who Dr. Disrespect is? Before we,
I've seen him. He's got the stash and the glasses, hasn't he?
Yeah. Can you have that?
Whenever I've had a few whatever Wumpa fruits in Pixel Bar,
yeah,
he's always there behind the bar on the screen.
Yeah, he's always there. Amazing.
Being disrespectful.
Have you got any facts, either fun, sad, or otherwise, for Lose Myself?
So we might have touched upon it earlier. Some people, they've just got no respect, for song names, and we wanted to call this song "Lose Myself" because of obviously the hook, "Lose myself, lose myself."
Yeah.
And we were like, Johnny's gonna get on the Twitches, the Twitters, all the twees, and he's gonna be like, "That's an Eminem song.
Nah, mate.
That's an Eminem song," and I'm never gonna hear the death of it. And every day since the release of the album, you've messaged me, haven't you, about it?
Well, actually, Marshall Mathers has messaged me saying, "Do you know Caskets?" And I say,
I need to speak to you about a Marshall matter. A court martial matter.
But, I mean, memes and excellent choruses. What more do you need? That was excellent. So, track 9, The Final Say, is not the final say on the album.
Not the final track. Otherwise, that is what it would be called. The final track.
Yeah. Can you tell us about this little beauty? Yeah.
So I'm always very cautious when I talk about this song because the subject matter is so potent. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, do you know what I mean? Such a common thing for people to deal with. We usually go down the route of writing down a load of thoughts and feelings about a subject matter, and then we also like to leave it. I like when a song can mean to me what I want it to mean to me. So you listen to something and it's a bit more ambiguous, rather than saying the girl had, brown hair and green eyes, and I think, oh well, she didn't actually, she had, red hair. So we're usually quite ambiguous, even though there obviously is a theme. This one felt like it would be disrespectful for it to be ambiguous. We just wanted to say how it was. I can see someone's asked, is it autobiographical? It's not. Matt has a good relationship with his dad. He hasn't always had a great relationship with his dad, but this doesn't reflect their relationship. Do you know what I mean? This was taking that thing and taking it to the extreme of going, right, well, what's the the worst outcome? What's the somebody living in that situation? What's their day to day like? So it comes from a place where there's some experience, but I helped write a lot of these lyrics, and I have a great relationship with my mom and my dad. But it as a human who has empathy for other people, I've known people who've been in bad situations and all different types of situations. So we drew upon that. So it's very hard to talk about this song because it's I don't ever want to cause any discomfort or upset about it because it is so on the nose. Mm-hmm. But that was a conscious decision we made of let's not make light of, do you know what I mean? Let's not beat around the bush of, something that unfortunately, like I said before, is commonplace that a lot of people know about. So this is our most on the nose song. It's about someone being held back by their past, struggling to let it go, but trying to forge their own path and not following the footsteps of what's happened before. There's a really great lyric that we were super happy when we got it, where it's where it says I regret that we're cut from the same cloth. Do you know what I mean? You're a part of me, and this experience is a part of me, but it won't define me. So there's a lot of that in this song of, you know, the fight between I won't let bad things that happen to me make me do bad things.
Track 9, the final say. Keep the questions
Heavy hitter
coming.
guy.
It's a heavy hitter. Let me know what you think. Keep the questions coming for Chris.
I feel the nostalgia seeping from these walls. I still see you charging like a rhino through the door. But I didn't understand, I was only small. Left me beaten, battered, that's if you come home at all. To you I'm a reminder of all your flaws. Just because you hate yourself don't mean I should be ignored. A family divided is what you've caused. A father is all that I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. Oh, can you hear me? I figure you get the final say. Now that you're gone, you come and to me. A little closure is what I like. For all the times that I won't get back. I doubted you even cared at all. That I was never even in your world. But inside of my life, it hurts. It hurts. I lost my peace of mind. Not only that, my drive. Don't wanna blame it all on you, but you set me up to fall from grace, fall from grace. Fall from grace, fall from grace. You wanted fierce fights, but I would run and hide. And I knew the struggle followed you. I guess that's why you fell from grace, fell from grace. Fell from grace, such a waste. I figure you get the final say. Now that you're gone, you come and see me. A little closure is what I like. For all the times that I won't get back. I doubted you even cared at all. That I was never even in your words. But inside in my life, it hurts. It hurts. 'Cause only you and me. But you're not the man I wanna be. And I guess you'll never see just what I'll turn out to be. I'll rebuild our family in a future you can't steal. I'll lay flowers on your grave, but we'll stay to watch them fade. When we lay down to rest, I regret that we cut from the same cloth. And the rain comes down in waves, but the death of you washes it all away. I figure you get the final say. Now that you're gone, you come and see me. A little closure is what I like. For all the times that I won't get back. I doubted you even cared at all. That I was never even in your words. But inside in my life, it hurts. It hurts.
Whoa, that is a powerful track. A powerful track. Again, that is another one of the many songs on this album for me, where it like transcends music. It becomes so much more like powerful and mean, as you can see from all the comments. So it's very,
Yeah, definitely.
very special song.
That's why whenever any of us speak about this, we treat it with a lot of respect. Like,
Yeah, of
you know
course.
what I mean? I haven't wrote a fun fact for this. There's nothing
Yeah.
fun about the track. Like, it was obviously difficult to record as well, because as much as we were saying it wasn't coming from a personal place in regards to like being autobiographical, it was like channeling the, like, that's why like I think Matt managed to get those like where it's like you set me up to fall from grace and stuff, and like such a waste, and like I think he channeled a lot of like, emotions from other areas of life, and like say the empathy for other people who've gone through that thing. Like, it's bullshit, like you shouldn't have to go through that. So a lot of that got channeled into it, and like it got heavy. That song got heavier once we started writing lyrics to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it kind of took on its own sort of like vibe and persona, and like that wouldn't be one that we would just go to like chip away at. It was kind of like he had to be in the right headspace. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't write with Matt lyrics for that song and then let him go and get the train home on his own. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. Like, it was very much like we treat that one with a lot of sort of like, we love the song, and like we love that it's an outlet for people, but it's kind of a bit like a Pandora's box of like, once you open it, you need to like have some cool down from that song, especially when you're writing it, because you're like discussing, what if we said this, and like we like just got Matt to scream those bits. We were like, just let it go. Do you know what I mean? Like, it don't matter if you go a bit out of tune, and like the emotion is more important than the delivery of it. Like,
yeah, and obviously massive respect to everyone for obviously sharing their own personal takes that song does.
If that song can be an outlet, or do you know what I mean, something to help people, like that's like, for us, that's a job well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're always like, we would love to play that one live, but I just feel like wouldn't want to. Our shows, we want them to be a place where people can come and they're happy and they can escape the boring and the mundane life, and get away from things. And like that one's a really like it's kind of a bit of a strange song that for us, of like we would love to play it, and I think some people would love the cathartic, to get in the pit and like let it all out, but. We're wary of like, we don't want to upset people, like, because it's so hard hitting.
Yeah. Let's move on to track 10 one more time.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about track
10? So this one's about like when you're with someone and you just know they're not right for you. Like, it's not where you need to be. It's not good for your state of mind. And finding the confidence to move on and break free from that, and like break away from. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be a thing or a person that's holding you back, like stuck in a rut. That there needs to be a change, but like we've all been there where you might know that something's right to do. I should probably tell the person this, or tell my boss that I don't want to work there anymore. But like life's hard and there's a lot of pressure, so like this touches on there, knowing something's not right, but. Throughout the song, I feel like the lyrics kind of like it finds its way to being like, we could break free from this and like and move on.
Okay, absolutely. Am I very quiet? Also, shout out to Riff and Bear Pit, best boys. Might be that.
Nice.
Here we go. Track 10. Enjoy.
Fabric my brain to stop the thinking, but it goes on. I've stopped it, proving to me that I have options when all you do is cause more problems. Life keeps pushing back upon every little thing I think reverberates around my willingness to leave it be. When will it stop? Bring me back from the darkness, the dead back to life. Revive my soul, let it come alive. How could you be so heartless? I believe to lie. I wanna feel the world one more time. Too low to grab the strength to care. We've ignored one another's song. I forget you were there. This feeling, a pain, rage, and awkwardness, a glutton for the punishment. I'll not stand here just taking it in. Just taking it in. Bring me back from the darkness, the dead back to life. Revive my soul, let it come alive. How could you be so heartless? I believe to lie. I wanna feel the world one more time. One more time. Can we find the strength to care when we're alone and no one's there? The pain we feel, it can't compare. You took everything. You took everything. You took everything. Maybe now that I've seen it, convince myself that you are worthless. So I'll leave you this. It tastes so bittersweet. Bring me back from the darkness, the dead back to life. Revive my soul, let it come alive. How could you be so heartless? I believe to lie. I wanna feel the world one more time. One more
Again, another vocal masterclass from Mr. Flood.
Yeah, there's some smooth bits in there, isn't there?
Very smooth indeed. Do you have any facts for one more time?
Factoid.
Yeah.
So, you know the drums are bum, ba bum, ba bum.
Yes.
At the start, and in the middle, and at the end. So that's all of us, everybody in the band, and the studio engineer where we recorded drums at Vader, called George Perks. That's all of us. So we we had James's drum kit. It was the last thing we did drums wise. So we had James's bass drum, floor tom, and he'd been using a second floor tom from another Tama kit, Tama Star, I think maybe that they had. And then we literally got all the big drums out from the storage cupboard. So we had a couple of bass drums, a couple of floor toms, really down tuned them. And we got some sort of like mallets. And yeah, basically we all got some headphones on. I felt like we were at Abbey Road or something. Like we were all there in a circle with headphones on, and yeah, that's all of us in the band doing that. Funny story. James will kick off, but you know it's funny. We did the first few of them, and it's kind of an unusual like timing, especially if you've never like tapped it out yourself before. And then we did a few of them, and Dan was just like, you know, click tracks on, and it was just like dun 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 dun, and then like another one dun dun dun, and it never stopped. And then Dan, after maybe like 2 or 3, was like, who's doing it out of time? And we sort of all looked round, and he was like, oh right, you guys do it, and then you guys do it, and they were like, James, it's you, you're the drummer. But to be fair to James, he'd been playing drums non-stop for 2 or 3 days, and it was just funny. Do you know what I mean? Of all of us, who's playing the drums at the time? The drummer.
Yeah, that is pretty hilarious.
Sorry, James.
For Tara's question, would you say that would mostly be Benji, as he created the R2D2 sound? Like the digital sounds, the samples in the songs. Who makes those?
So yeah, definitely. Like a lot of them are in the demos, so that's Benji. But then some of them, like a lot of the ones in that song, were like either made using like crazy plugins that Dan had, or manipulating vocal stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that is like something that Matt did.
Yeah.
And it was augmented and changed, and but yeah, most of the digital stuff starts out as like an idea from Benji or Randy. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, most of them as well. We're always just trying to get it to sound like the one in the demo because we've heard it that many times.
Riff says, how do you go about writing samples interludes? Is there a melody already in mind?
Yeah, I guess so. Obviously, like I said earlier, we learnt a lot from Dan, and we learnt a lot about, like, he calls it like song DNA. So we're very, especially from bands before, like Benji was very into like Memphis May Fire and things like that, where they don't necessarily like, it's never the same riff really.
Yeah.
There's always something happening. And we carried a lot of that forward into this band, where we didn't want to seem like lazy, like, oh, it's just the riff from the first verse again. But sometimes in doing that, we were losing that familiarity that people like with the song. Like, oh, right, there's a little melody at the start, and then it would repeat throughout the song. We sort of didn't really do that much. And we're same with the lyrics, like a lot of bands will do the first verse and the second verse will be almost the same, but like same melodies but different lyrics. We have done that in a few of the songs on this one, but we're almost like, there's an intro and then you almost like never revisit those melodies again, and then you would have the verse and you go, I don't want the second verse to sound like the first verse. And so there's a lot of that of like when we're writing and when we were finalising stuff for the album, we were using melodies that were like, we might write a counter melody for something and we think, oh well, that if it works there, it will work in the other bit. And so sometimes there's a melody in mind, and then sometimes it's letting the song tell you what it needs. We've learned a lot about that, of like just it's not bad if it's the obvious. Something being obvious isn't necessarily a negative of going, oh, a melody's come to me straight away. Like that doesn't mean that it's the easiest and it's not worth anything. Like we had to learn that like through doing. Do you know what I mean? Of going, we did a lot of stuff where Dan sort of went, well, what was the first thing you wrote for this? If we went, this is the 5th chorus we've wrote for this and it's still not working, you go, what's the first thing that you wrote? And some of them ended up a bit of tweaking, and you go, right, well, you were on the right lines. Like as a musician, you'll especially with when we do the floodish. It is literally off the dome. It's like, what are you feeling? Like, what's the to the music?
Amazing.
So,
I think a good quick one before we go for the last track, because he says, who is the biggest influence for you musically? That's a good one. I think it's a good one to let's go personally as well for you.
So yeah. Well, it goes without saying, like, obviously Matt draws a lot of influence from like Charlie Simpson, Fight Star, a lot of acoustic music. Benji's a massive fan of Architects. So like all the obvious ones really. If you listen to us band, like, we really like Dayseeker. Like we've been listening to them for years.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's no lie. Like I've spoke to Lucas in Holy Absence about it, and I was like, look, we're chasing you guys. You guys are doing really well. You write music that we love. You work with Dan. There's a lot of similarities. I like us having some. They're bigger than us, and they've done their second album, and they're doing like a full, sold out UK tour and stuff. And like, I was talking to him about it, and I was like, I like that we've got somebody to chase, and I like that they're inspiring to us. So like, there's loads of big bands, do you know what I mean? Like the Architects and things like that. But then like, I like the community that the UK metal scene has of, like Cities has, do you know what I mean? If they release a banging track, I'm really happy for them and I love it. And like, but then there's always that, not one-upmanship, but like, we keep each other on his toes, because, then as everything unfolds, they'll release a load of good songs. And like, it's, nothing's in the bag, do you know what I mean? You can't relax. There's so much great music going on all the time that's inspiring, and sometimes it's not the song, do you know what I mean? You might not be inspired by the song, but you're inspired to sit down and write and up your game and try things. And like, I listen to loads of pop music, like and country music, and like, I'm very drawn to catchy vocals, and that's kind of my part in the band, where like me and Matt all, melodies and lyrics, and like, whereas Benji is more musically minded, of like, he'll know I'll listen to something, I'll be like, that sounds sick, like, why does that make me feel like that? And he'll know the theory, and he'll be able to make something similar for us, and come up with like the bones of songs. But then like, everybody's influences come from different places, like and mine are mainly in the vocals and lyrics and melodies, and then James, he's a drummer, so he just listens to drums. So like, but then he'll listen to like 1975 or Rex Orange County, or we're not all just listening to like our genre, which is kind of weird, because like, we're not necessarily out and out metalcore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're more emo sensibilities with riffs and big choruses.
And that is why everybody loves you. So
them emos, we're sneaky emos, aren't we?
Everyone loves a sneaky emo. So going back to what we said at the start, that you were always obviously very careful with how the album lined up and the track listing, was Nothing to Hide always going to be the album closer?
I don't know if I could say that it was. It was definitely, I don't know, I don't want to say it was definitely like a later part of the album thing, but like, it's got the solo in it, and it does the end of the song did lend itself well to like a long, drawn out, ending.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those, again, like I was saying, like, we were very deliberate in where certain things were, and then the others kind of like showed themselves as being like, what's a good feeling, a vibe to end on.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've gone to a lot of places, we've gone to dark places, and we've gone to sing-along places, and we've gone to acoustic stuff that's lovey-dovey, and like, we didn't want to necessarily end on a downer, because we want to always keep that, like, there is always hope, and there's always, there's always tomorrow, and there's always, if you're willing to look for the good in life, that's there. So like, I kind of like that the song's got a bit of that, of like, it's talking about somebody looking for something, you're maybe it's your girlfriend who wants to look through your phone because she, maybe you've done something or said something, or she's insecure, or for whatever the reason is, and it could be girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, anything. It doesn't have to be a phone. Like, it's that when you're looking for something, but the thing you're looking for, if you find it, you're only going to find like pain there.
Yes.
Nobody goes looking through somebody's phone for a bad message or something, and then when they find it, they're happy about it. It's like, it's a really weird thing that humans do to themselves. They're like, you could choose to live in the blissful ignorance, which is, has its downfalls as well. But like, this one's kind of like, why do you need proof? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As humans, we should be able to communicate, and like, you should be in a position where your word's good enough. Look, there's nothing for you to worry about. I've got nothing to hide. And like, and the realization of, if that's not enough for someone, then you need to address like where you're at. Of, keep using the phone as an example, but anything, do you know what I mean? Like, it could be anything in that, where it's like, prove to me that it's, that I'm, being crazy and it's not what I think, sort of thing. So, but like, it's a really strange concept because it's like there's pain on both sides. Do you know what I mean? It's painful for someone to not trust you, and then it's even more painful to find out whether it's whether it's right or not.
Yeah,
it never ends well.
No, definitely. But you know what does end well? This album. This is. This is Nothing to Hide. If you've got any final questions for Chris, get them in now.
just before you start it, second verse, right?
Yes.
It says, "Now I know I can finally say, walk away." Right? It used to say, "Find a way," and then it would echo, "Find a way again, find a way, find a way. You don't want to know." Like, and they would just place all the lyrics, but because of the melody of them, we found it very hard to get them out. And obviously, we've got a song called "Find a Way." So I feel like this song as well I feel like we were laughing about it. I feel like it had lots of like song names in the lyrics, but totally by accident. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be like about the signs, and it'd be like,
yes,
but I'm not the only one, and you're like it had a load of them in, and we were just like, God, we need to purge the. It was almost like a medley. Do you know what I mean? If you like Caskets, you'll probably have heard "One More Time." Like, so listen out for that in the second verse. It was "Find a Way, Find a Way."
Let's find a way into Nothing to Hide. That's 2 now. There we go. Enjoy.
Quite good.
You seek within. Your beating heart surrounds me like your loving arms, but you cry again to me as if you planned it all out just for fun. If you don't wanna know, don't ask it. Just keep it in the back of your mind. If you don't wanna know, don't wonder. Believe me, I've got nothing to hide from you. Believe me, I've got nothing to hide from you. Believe me, I've got nothing to hide from you. My freedom cries, I feel aware that here I know nothing is real. I'm going nowhere, so I'll just stare at the ceiling and pray it all goes away. But this debt isn't mine to pay, yet it's falling on me either way. Now I know I can finally say, walk away. If you don't wanna know, don't ask it. Just keep it in the back of your mind. If you don't wanna know, don't wonder. Believe me, I've got nothing to hide from you. Believe me, I've got nothing to hide from you. Believe me, I've got nothing to hide from you. If I read between the lines, replay everything inside my head, break away from everything you said.
And that is Lost Souls in full. Christopher, anything to add to that track? Any facts before we close out?
Well, we've got to talk about that solo, haven't we?
Oh,
so...
I mean, it's definitely one of the high points of the album.
We liked as well that it's so close to the end that it's like, I like to think that it would have caught people off guard. Like,
yeah.
I love the way it comes into it. Again, that was another one of the ones where Craig this time had done that sort of like panning where it goes like, and like leads you into it, like pulls you in. Yeah, so like I was joking about Craig's white guitar earlier. Like, I love a good spiky, do you know what I mean? Obnoxious guitar.
Yeah.
So when we recorded that, we tried doing it on the 7-string. Can't remember which one we were using. I think it might have been Benji's. But Craig had wrote it on a 6-string, and he'd wrote it in a different tuning, I think. So we ended up like scrapping doing that day, and then Craig brought the white 6-string beast, restrung it, got it all set up, and then just absolutely ripped that out, because we were like, oh, just change it for the 7-string, and he was just like, the muscle memory will, it's fast what he's playing, so he was like, yeah, it's gonna take longer than me just going and getting the guitar. But yeah, like listening to it again, like I do definitely think it's a great one to end it on. Like a bit of everything.
Definitely.
A bit of a cheeky solo. We'll definitely play that one live. We've got to wheel Craig out, haven't we? With the white axe.
Yeah.
Mid song, someone should just pass him it.
and the bandana. All in one. Absolutely.
And I'll just splat blood at him the whole time while he's doing it.